Welcome, everybody, to another rendition of the Lone Wolf Show. I'm the Lone Wolf. And as usual, I have a very special guest coming all the way from the East Coast in New England, Reverend Thrullas Draconis. Hey, Rev, you there? He popped out on us, but I have a feeling he's coming right back. And he should be coming right back. Here we are. Here we are. We lost you for a second, but
I actually clicked the wrong button. I was sharing out. I was starting to share it out, and I hit the wrong button, so I lost you. But here we are.
decent. So, tell me, Rev. I mean, I've seen your podcast and your show throughout a few years now. And something that really sticks out is something that we had talked about earlier in the show when an individual was, well, more of a presence online than anything else, I think. But
Right.
it came to pass that he was preying upon, I guess, younger seekers or younger people in the community.
Yes.
And you had this guy on live, and after, we'll just say that after your live, we never heard it from him ever again.
Well, uh, number one, I called him out to his face, and I told him in video. I said, if I was you, I'd be getting on live right now on my show and apologizing to everyone in the community. And he did. I saw the video. He was sending, personal pics to people unsolicited, to women, and some of them were younger. You know what I mean?
Right.
Stuff like that, and that's an issue. It's not really my job to do it, but I wouldn't want it done to my sister or my daughter or any of them.
Right.
So, that's the way I look at it. If somebody doesn't speak up, who's going to do it?
Absolutely.
I've seen very many people step up and take care of stuff. I hear a lot of people talk about it, but they're more worried about themselves. We all know that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. If in the community, if a younger lady comes up to you and says, I need help with something because of the situation. Let's say she's like in college, right? Who's going to come take care of that? The security, the police, right? I'm not the police, but I'm going to make sure that crap is not in it as much as I can help it. Because there's enough tarnishing as there is within the community amongst the witches. We don't need more bad apples in the barrel. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. Most of the time, I'm going to say, probably 98% of the time, I never have, social dealings on social media or any of my platforms where I'm talking negatively about situations. But I think it's important that if people are caught red-handed doing something that's baneful or destructive or just kind of not of good etiquette, it should be exposed for who they are. That way, we don't have predators, walking around in our community.
Hey, it's like every community. You can have predators, you can have whatever they are. There's always going to be toxic people in any path that you're in. Christianity, witchcraft, whatever religion you're in, whatever. It's always going to be a difference between balance of good and bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me, I like to stay in the middle. I like to make sure the balance maintains itself, and that's the way it should be.
Now, one thing that I often is like a mantra that I kind of live by is like toxic circles. I don't pay him any mind. If you're a toxic circle, I don't pay you no mind. But in this situation, you saw a toxic. Well, I don't know if it's a circle, but you saw something toxic and you did pay it mind, and now it's no longer here. So that's kind of a different point of view, but I think necessary.
Right. The you know, when you got a community of which is mainly female dominant, but that's because a lot of the community is that way, and there should be no separation, but there is. And when it comes down to it, people have to realize that some people don't play that way. Some people don't play by the rules, and they will be in the community. They'll be in the round, like say, children or whatever it may be. These toxic people do not need to be around the community, because if nobody else is going to stand up for it, who will? That's my biggest thing. Who's going to? I don't see anybody else stepping up for it, but that's just the way I was raised. You know, I was raised old school, Gen X, and my dad was World War II vet. And the way I look at it is this: if you don't take care of it, nobody else will, because nobody else really cares. Nobody else really cares, because ultimately it comes down to self, not to all. That's why, like in the witchcraft community, there are so many separations, because so many people need to be away from everybody, because there's been too much toxic. It's not just in Christians, it's not just in Muslims, it's not, it goes everywhere. Everywhere.
Right.
And it's horrible what happens with it. It's very bad about how it affects those around you. You know, because all it takes, you think about it, all it takes is somebody to said, "Don't drink the Kool-Aid," with the Jonestown issue. But look what that led to.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
There's cults and there's covens. There's
Yeah.
cults. There's circles. There's cults, and then there's churches. There's cults, which are toxic, because ultimately what they're grabbing from is your energies to be able to draw in the things that they need. They need that positive energy or negative energy to feed what they are, to be able to do their abilities.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's groups that's been out there that's not part of witchcraft, not part of the witchcraft at all. And but yet they hide themselves as something else, another group. And I've been told they hypnotize people for money. Whenever they do a video with them, like tarot readings, and they're hypnotizing them the whole time. And these people are sending thousands of dollars from their checking accounts. These people, thousands. Who's going to handle that?
So do you feel that contemporary witchcraft is no longer a fertility cult or pockets of fertility cults?
I feel that the problem is those who try to lead and those who allow them to lead could be the ones that's causing the problems, much like we have in our government. And I don't even talk about politics, but it's the truth. None of them ever do what they say they're going to do. So what's the point, right? Why waste your energy and time if nobody's going to do anything about it? And the thing is, like, some groups are all females, right? Some groups are all males.
Right.
Let them be separate if that's what they wish.
Right.
But you don't have to bash each other about it.
Absolutely.
You don't have to put each other down in the community about it. And this happens all the time. I hear it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
No, Coven did this, this group did this one did this. You know what? Stay in your own lane and you might figure out a lot better path.
A notable all-female coven that I go to when that's in discussion is Z Budapest and her work. And she's kind of like old school, so it kind of tipped my hat for that.
Yeah.
We were talking about toxic people in the community, and I really want to ask you all about your spirituality and where you come from and all kinds of things. And I want to ask you questions about your show too. But before I do, I wanted to ask you, as far as contemporary witchcraft goes in modern times, what do you feel is toxic in our community as of now, and what can we do about it?
I think one of the biggest things is that we need to keep separation of church and state, just like path of religion and spirituality needs to be separate from church and state and everything else. The problem is that everybody's pulling it in together. And I'm not talking about us, I'm talking about those around us are pulling this in together. So then it affects one another. Because if you really think about it, one side says, oh, we want to have this and this and this, but under one God. Is that really like the Constitution? No. So with our path of witches, you know, we're already looked at. But now suddenly, witches used to be the bad thing, the ugly thing, Wizard of Oz, witch kind of thing, as we all know for quite a while. And in time, they look up to us now. They look up to the witches like us and need our help because maybe they're not understanding of something like me. I do paranormal. I also do exorcisms. I do other things too, right? So it's like, who do we go to? Because obviously I had like say one example, somebody had an exorcism by the Catholic Church, right? Didn't work. A month later, they were still having issues. Then we take care of it. It's done. It's handled. It's banished. And who do they come to? Everybody's automatically thinking of the movies, the Catholics do the exorcisms and so on and such, right? But ultimately, when you come down to it, things are going back into the spirituality of the witchcraft path. Our path is what guides us with the elements. We draw upon those things around us. And that's what we need to stick about and think about and keep doing. We should be able to expand ourselves to help others and embrace those that come to us in need. But that's a big problem there most of the time. I've seen communities to where you walk in and the witches, you might be I call them a witchling. Maybe there's not a name. I just call them a young witch or a witch that's a beginner. I call them witchlings. Okay. Certain other people called him something else. I said, bro, that's not cool. That's why he's no longer around. How do I put this? So the way I look at it is a lot of people really turn their ears and their faces away to the new ones because it's like, they're probably not going to stay. They're just doing it because it's Halloween. It's a fad or whatever. Not all of us, not all people, and not all witches, not all females, males, whatever they are all like that. Some people might struggle through something that they have gone through that maybe you have gone through. An example, PTSD, anxiety because of something else, and maybe you can help guide them. But instead, the witch community, and I'm not saying all, but a lot that I've seen, especially in certain areas, it's all about them. It's not about anybody else. And that's bad. That right there is showing that the Disney World of Salem, because it has become like Disney World, trust me, I know. And when you're paying for 2 small Gatorades, $8, that's a little crazy. Yeah. Like the little bottles. Yeah. I was like, whoa. So when you realize that it's becoming like Disney World and the prices are getting jacked up, it's because so many people said they wanted to become witches and all moved to Salem because they had money and bought and buy and do this and build. But what happened to the community?
What happens to it? I feel like it becomes weakened. I mean, you can only pay to play for so long.
Right. You're
Right.
really right here. The thing is, we have not made our foundation strong like it used to be. It has softened. It has crumbled right beneath us. If you talk to one group or an eclectic witch like myself, I, I've run covens before. I've run circles before. I've had people want me to do them now. It's you deal with a lot of drama sometimes. You deal with other people bringing their drama into your circle, coven, whatever you may be. You know, maybe a group of like 6 people just getting together and doing yoga, and then all of a sudden they do candle magic or whatever. It's the principle. What happened to our core and our foundation? Like, you have the core of Wicca. If you think about it, what has happened to the foundation of the craft? Has it become something that everybody can jump on and just do? Yes. Why not? But there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is some of the witches, especially some of the elder witches, the old school, some of them I met, they are not very supportive of new people coming in. But yet I have a place here that teaches people how to do jar spells for $30. You know, you see what I mean? It's all about this. It's all about the money. And that's the sad part. It's not about taking care of each other like it used to be. First thing is, a man or a woman, back in the time of the witch trials, let's say the witches were in a coven. Most of those men were saying, yeah, I know about her and her and her. Hey, let's get her burned, right? Basically, or drowned or whatever. Even the men died. There was men that was crushed by rocks. A lot of this wasn't even told at the Salem Museum thing that I was at. Didn't say anything about Selena Fox or nothing. Nothing's updated. It was old, you know. So I think we need to have, like, I'm not saying a committee or something, but we really should probably have somebody or some people that will basically speak as one voice or multiple voices, like I don't know, other places, other things. But we don't have that.
Well, we definitely used to have that. I believe it was 1972. You had the witches of the Council of Witches
Yes.
in 72, and that was kind of what you're talking about. But since then, no, we haven't had anything like that. I think maybe the community is too big to have something like that. In 72, the community was much smaller than it is today.
Yeah, we're up to 1 million, I believe, in the United States. That's a lot. That's a lot. And most of us have come from one thing to another to become this. This has become your spirituality. This has become your life, your feelings, your, you know, oh, I need to go into a crystal store. Oh, that feels good. That one, you know what I mean? You become what you create. And if you cannot create something within your mind to create your destiny, then you'll never become. You'll always stay the same. And I think that a lot of the community is just, it's kind of like a nonchalant. But there are some out there that still do good. There's some, you know, I know some that do like food drives for homeless, clothes drives for homeless. You know, there's a couple around here that do that. You know, I'm not going to mention the names, but I'm very impressed in knowing that there's at least something. But like a pagan pride day here where I'm at, you might have 5 tents up. I'm like, what? You know what I mean? And I'm used to being out in Greenville and all that area. It was like 20, but I was normally running the event. Yeah, so it's like, it's not as strong as people think. And everybody says they want to go and be the Salem and be witches. It's very expensive to be witches in Salem. Very, like, a lot. So I think if we just maybe made, you know, we don't want it to be like a governmental thing, you know, or I just think that they need to have somebody or some people or that can be voted in or whatever to be like guides. Somebody who could be like, you know, who's going to take care of the judgment upon this witch like I did? Remember? I just basically told him, you're coming on the live and you're going to apologize to everyone on the live. And then I'm going to get rid of you, period. And he's gone.
He is gone.
Yeah, he's real gone. So I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm not going to tolerate that. Not as long as I'm around. You know.
So is there a thin line? Was that a fatal mistake? Or I mean, because I mean, as part as the in the growing process, you know, in learning curves, it's okay. I feel like it would be okay to make mistakes, but does there come a point when the mistakes become fatal?
Well, here's what I feel. There's a difference between sending unsolicited pics to one, but when you're sending it to somebody that I happen to know, that's two. And then he did it to another one, that's three. He was gone. That was it. That's what I said. He was done. So I can only imagine how many more. And he admitted on the live how many he sent pictures to. And what was kind of sad is some of them were kind of young women, like under 18. So may he get what he, well, I was going to say, may he get what he deserved, but he already got it.
Right. So mote that shit for real. So I want to move on. I want to talk about behind the mystical door. Where did behind the mystical door start? How did that come to be? Is that your creation?
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Actually, it was kind of stepped down from another witch, an elder witch that passed away. And I was with her and helped her out with some things. And for her legacy, I decided to keep the name and keep it going. But I made it more than what it was. I created it bigger, what she made it or wanted it to be. But she's happy with it, I'm sure. As she tells me whenever in spirit forms all the time when she's around. She's proud of me. Just like my lady, my elder Lady Pink down in South Carolina. That's her name. Her witch name is Lady Pink. And they're pretty proud of me so far, for what I've become. I was the youngest elder in the community. The youngest elder in the community at 50. Now I was younger than that even. But the reason why isn't because it wasn't about the age with them. It was about the wisdom. It was about the knowledge. It was about how well I could do things, how well I could speed through the tests and everything. And I did something different. And then eventually what happened was I did a calling of the dragons at my final high priest test, my final, when it was done. And everybody's seen it. They saw purple lightning strike across the sky and aura pictures by everyone, purple aura. So they went ahead and said, "You're the amethyst dragon." I said, "Okay." Here I am. And then behind the mystical door became business way of it. And I'm growing it quickly, as quick as I can. And then I'm going to make sure everything's proper and won't have any issues. I'm going to basically handle everything from psychic mediums, tarot card to paranormal. Everything will be done under the behind the mystical door. LLC.
What would you say the mission statement is of the behind the mystical door platform?
I would put it like this. And yeah, I'll speak it out like this. Because I don't have a filter, right? I would say if you're good, you're good. But if you're bad, run. That's the best way I put it. Run. Don't lie to me. Don't ever run. Don't run to me and lie. Don't, because I'm going to know it. I'll know it. And then your best bet is if you're evil and you're in my craft of people, my people, as I put it, my brothers, my sisters, my friends, all whatever they call each other. But if you're there to be the bad apple, that bad apple is going to get thrown hard at a wall. It's going to disappear like that. That's how I feel. It's not a threat, but I'm not going to allow toxic to be around my people, my brothers and sisters. So I'm going to make sure of it. That's all. It's we don't need it. We don't need it. It's not an enforcement. It's not police. It's just simple. I'm going to do it if you're not going to do it. And if no one else is going to do it, I'm still going to do it. Because I look out for the people. Everyone I love, everyone that is around me are witches, pretty much. And those witches, if they ever came to me and say, Thrullas, I need something, I'm pretty much going to do it. If I can do it. Within my power. Always. And,
So, yes.
Go ahead. No,
As
go
far
ahead.
as the behind the mystical door, is there any particular event or show or stream that sticks out more than others?
I'm doing that. Sorry about that. I was trying to move somebody's face flying in front of my screen like that, and a little pop up, and all of a sudden, boop. So, what was the question again?
My question is there any particular show that you have had on Behind the Mystical Door that sticks out more than others? Iconic. I'm looking for iconic Behind the Mystical Door shows that stick out.
I would say the night that I did a paranormal. Oh wow. Well, so far that's sticking out right now is TikTok won't allow me to do longer than an hour because they say my work is dangerous and they won't let me do it on live TikTok. What I do. And I'm like, okay. So, I get that. But I mean, 2 times in a row, I was out in Pittsfield Cemetery on Halloween, Samhain, and the night before. And the night before that, I was out there for 3 nights, every night till about 5 o'clock in the morning. And all of a sudden, TikTok just dropped my video. I'm like, what the heck, man? Facebook, maybe they're a little bit lenient on that. That's cool. But I get it to a point because honestly, I wouldn't want to do half the shit I do, but I do it anyways because I feel like I have to because nobody else is going to do it. That's how I feel. And behind a mystical door is a safe place. Behind that door is a safe place. And it will be, and always will be, for witches. If it's either people that come to me off the streets or whatever, I've had people come to me off the streets. I've had people from all over the world come to me about certain things. And I help them as good as I can because that's what I'm here for. I'm not here to scam people and make a lot of money like a lot of people do. I'm just here to survive and make sure this world's halfway decent by the time something else comes, like God of Chaos asteroid.
So what exactly were you doing in the Pittsfield Mass graveyard? What were you doing? What was going on?
I had an EMF meter and I wanted everybody to see how much energy comes around me whenever I'm around in cemeteries. And it was beat red the whole time.
Explain the EMS meter to our viewers.
It's an electronic meter. Basically, it pulls off the energies. If you get it near electronics, it will go off. And I had it in my car, and I knew people would be like, "Oh yeah, that's just because it's a car." And then I shut the car off, and it was still beat red because nobody knew it. But I had people sitting. I could feel and see. I feel and see spirits and hear them. Okay, so the thing I have to deal with is, okay, I can feel and see them, but nobody else can, right? So I did that in a live to show, and it was beat red everywhere. Every tomb, every crypt I went to is this because it's like they follow me. A lot of people say that I'm like a beacon or a lighthouse or whatever, a beacon to them, and they all just say, "Oh, look, this guy can hear and talk to us. Let's all run to him and talk to him forever for like hours while I'm sitting out there because I have nothing better to do." And hey, look, you gotta look at it this way, man. They get bored. They get bored, man. These spirits or some of these spirits are trapped on this side and they're having to repeat their life over and over again. How much more can you take, right? Repetitional hauntings and stuff like that. But I hang out with them and talk to them. And people are like, they come out there with me and they're like, man, there's no way. No, they come out there with me and they're like, oh my gosh, what the hell? Because they see it, they feel it. And it's like, yeah, it's normal to me. It's nothing. It's like, it's kind of creepy. Like to some people, like you feel the creep climb over you a little bit. Sometimes you get the cold chill, it's like, ooh, like that, you know what I mean? Like up the back. But honestly, it's what you're drawing in around you. When you do a paranormal work, and certain people, I won't say their names, but it starts with Zach. When you do a paranormal work, if you know that the house has got a demon in it, what do? You don't go running in there and act like you're big and bad and you're going to be all wear black and wear the same thing. You just jump right in there and the demon's not going to mess with you. Because what happens to Zach? Almost every show, he gets possessed by something, or every other show, or whatever. So you gotta not just protect yourself, mind and body, but spiritually. You don't open a can of whoop ass if you can't take the whoop ass, basically. And that's what some people do. And they wonder why they're getting messed up. That's why certain people haven't been on the show for 6 months or whatever, because they've been messed up and they've had to try to get rid of it. And most of them can't. Most of them can't. Once it's there, it's there. Most of them think, oh, well, I'll go to the Catholic priest or this priest and I'll believe it so much that we'll get rid. It comes back. It comes back because it's not the strength that you're facing that you believe in. So therefore, it's not going to heal. It's not going to take care of it. You're not going to be able to protect it and block it and keep it out. It's going to eat away at you, like at a point like when they know you're weak, when they know you're down, when they know there's negativity around you, they will affect you again. Always guaranteed. That's when it all. I've been in houses where it's nothing but arguing, negativity, blah 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 blah, and all of it is it's opening a big ass can of whoop ass every corner from the house. It's all just, and they're getting clawed, they're getting bit, they're getting whatever. Why? But they ask me, what can I do? What can I do? I would stop, number one, because it's not helping. Stop the negativity, because all that does is feed everything. Okay. If you're going into a house, let's say, if you're a house full of drugs, drug users, stuff like that, that's a feeding frenzy for evil, pure evil, because they know your weaknesses and they'll use it against you. That's how they work. It's just like the world that we live in. We got so many people like this here, and we don't know what else to do, right? Some people like me, we don't even like being around a crowd of people because they're too negative. Always something. You can have a great day walking out today, but then tomorrow morning when you walk out, you're going to have John Joe Smith, whatever his name is, be a total jerk. And that just ruin your day if you allow it. So, I mean, that's the way I look at it. If we allow it, then that's all of our faults. If nobody speaks up, that's your fault. That's your fault. Everybody needs to speak up and go to an elder or somebody in the community. And if there's somebody that's an issue, get them out of there. Because if you guys allow them to stay around, then that just shows that there can be more of them. Whatever they may be, pedophiles, whatever they are, whatever they may be. So it's like any community. Research, research, research those that you're getting in with and learning from, always.
So during the course of the interview, you've thrown words around like demon. You've thrown a word around called evil. So I want to ask you, in the scope of Mother Nature itself, do you feel that Mother Nature distinguishes what is evil and what is good?
No. We, the humans, determine that. We made it. We made evil as much as we made good. I feel as though, let's just put it this way. We all know that some people worship demons because they pry upon them to ask them to do something for them in exchange, right? So the way I feel is we made them. We created all the gods that are known to man. They're all man-made, all of them. The Norse, the Celtic, Satan, Lucifer, whoever. You see what I mean? All created by man. That's how I believe. So I believe in a higher divine power that's not, has no name, has no gender, right? Does not mean there's multiple gods because we created them. That's how I feel. We created them. We create in our minds and give the energies to those that are, that we bow to, or you know what I mean? We've created that. Doesn't mean you did. Doesn't mean I did. It could be somebody in the past generation of our families that did. So it's a big deal. And like me, I believe in following your ancestors, like Cherokee or Norse, Germanic, like my path, my blood, my ancestry. So I follow my path. I follow my ancestry's path. I'm eclectic. Sometimes I might do a little Cherokee stuff. I might do a little bit of Norse, stuff. I might do a little Germanic. I might be doing something else that people don't want to know. Or it could be a good thing. But it's all perceived upon how you react to me and what you're going to get, right? If somebody comes into your house and knocks on your door, and they walk in, right? They may be a good person outside the door, but once they step in the door, maybe they get a little attitude, like better than thou. So how would you handle it?
Well, you said they came in my house, so I mean that's exactly how I would handle it. Like they're in my house saying that.
Right. But would you do it as a forceful manner, or would you do it as a peaceful manner? See what I mean?
I would like to say that I always try to do things peaceful before it would become aggressive.
I believe that is you. I believe that your energy is strictly to be peaceful as much as possible, much like mine. But we're different. We're all different. We all might do our path a different way. Some people might not even be in a coven. Some might not be in a circle because they don't want to be in it. Because maybe they've been in one before and it was kind of toxic. And I've heard that a lot with a lot of people. Oh, I'll never do one again, or I'll never do that again because something happened. Something happened. And nobody took care of it most of the time. And hopefully, all of us will start getting our crap together and start realizing this. Because if not, it's going to be like all the churches that lost all the people. You get me? That wouldn't be fun. We want to grow. We want to expand, not to envelop the world, not to envelop the United States or any country, but we are bringing peace to this world. The true ones. Okay. There's the ones that bring peace to the world, and then there are the ones who bring war to the world. You know what I mean? You got the black and the white. It's like the yin and yang. There's always a little evil and a little good, etc., etc. That's why the yin and yang symbol looks like that with the dots. It represents the evil and good. It has a little bit in there, but the good has a little bit of evil in it somewhere too. Balance. Okay. So what we should do is maybe get people that would be happy to teach, happy to do things, happy to help out, happy in the community to do things, maybe donate their time. Maybe people should do that sometimes if they can, but a lot of people can't. A lot of us can't because we're too busy doing other things. We have too many things going on. So we have to just go with the flow on it. But then the problem is you have the new students, the new people learning, and they're just tossed aside. We don't want that. We don't need that. So that's what I just think we need to be a little bit more giving to those that are new, those that ask questions, those that request knowledge. Why not? As long as you feel that they're using it for a good purpose, teach them. You would teach your grandkids. Why not teach a young person that has no grandmother or grandfather or father or mother? Guide them. Make their lives easier for them to understand that we are good people. It's what you reflect.
You mentioned earlier in the interview that humanity has created the gods. And one of the questions that I ask a lot of priests and priestesses is the question: did the gods create us, or did we create the gods?
I feel okay. I feel as though a divine being of divine beings or what have you created everything around us. It could be one, it could be two, it could be multiple. We don't know. We really don't know. Nobody really knows who made the universes. Nobody knows who really made all the planets. You know, did it come from an asteroid flying by and all of a sudden it dropped like little, bird turds and all of a sudden there's the planets? We don't know because nobody's been there. Nobody was around then. We all assume everything. We assume. And all that's doing is we're not learning from it. We are studying back and we see how the Samaritans were the oldest religion and gods. How do we know? There wasn't more before then. We don't, because nobody can go back that far. Nobody has found anything. And can you really trust everything that's being found? Has the carbon dating been properly done? Is it a glitch? It has to be constantly redone and tested. So as the world grows, our energies will grow too. But then again, we also have a lot of technology that drains and takes away. And it's happened to me many times because it's like too much time. I haven't handled this and this, but not time to myself. That's the biggest problem. Our people, or those or anyone that's in any path, whatever it may be, spirituality, whatever, we're always constantly trying to help other people that we're draining ourselves and where we're not taking care of ourselves. You have to heal yourself to heal others.
So you have a Beyond the Mystical Door. It's a show, a podcast on social media. What are the times that usually runs? How do you find it?
Behind the Mystical Door is on Facebook and YouTube, 9 p.m. Wednesdays and Fridays, evenings, Eastern. Now, I am also on TikTok, which I'm trying to make it to where I can just do them all at the same time. I have to do them separate, using some software and some goodies, But I'm working it. But I am also a one-man show too. I don't have, you know what I mean? I don't have anybody else helping me. But I just hope that people that get to a level of teaching, okay, like you're at Harold, you're at a level of teaching now. You've got your priest, your high priest or priest. You working on your high priest? No, I didn't know if he was. So to me, knowing the right thing and knowing that people are going to be into thing and the right people are teaching it, people got to research. They have to research whoever they're going to learn from, because you never know. I've met people that met up with people that are teachers and they end up being not good. And it really ruined these people's lives. So that's just my feeling, my opinions on it.
Right. To answer your question about the high priest thing, I'm not trying to learn how to be a high priest. I'm just trying to learn what it would take to walk a priesthood as a pagan.
Okay. I get that. I get that. Because see, like me, when I got into the Wiccan part, I was like, well, I like to learn a little bit of everything, right? You like that? like to delve into. When I delve into something, I go full force and learn all about it. Okay. And the thing with me, I said, well, I might as well go ahead and get into this Wiccan thing. And I'm like, well, people said that you could become a high priest. I'm like, I don't know about that. You know what I mean? But then I'm like, okay, well, you're pretty much a teacher. And then they're saying this, and I'm like, I don't know about that. But okay. So I did it. I ended up doing it. So it was good, but Wicca's not for everyone. Let's just put it that way. Wicca is not. Wiccans are Wiccans and Wiccans. I don't even know what to say. They follow the threefold law. I won't. I believe in you're going to get what you get now, not later. I'm doing it now. There's some witches like that. There's some that will curse, and there's some that will cast. There's some that will heal. You can't heal unless you can hurt. You can't hurt unless you can heal. Think about that. All has to do with what you've learned and how you've learned it. Some people are defensive, over defensive. I mean, I've seen people sit there and run into a store, and this lady was there. I was at a store the other day, and in a witch shop, and this woman ran in there, and she was buying candles left and right, like she was going to die in like 20 minutes if she didn't have them, because she was so scared of something. And I just looked at her. I said, "Can I ask you something?" She goes, "What?" I said, "Do you really believe you're cursed?" And she goes, "Yeah, my family's been like this for years, and I know it." And I just looked at her, and I said, "Okay, well," I said, "if that's what you believe, then you might as well go ahead and buy those candles and spend all that money on those candles, because you put it out there that you automatically believe that's what's happening, right?" So I just told her, I said, "Why?" And I sat there, and she goes, "Well, what do you mean by that?" And I said, "Put your hand out for a moment." And I touched her hand, top and the bottom. And then I let my fingers and hands away from it. And I said, "What do you feel?" And she goes, "A lot of energy." I said, "That's protection. That's ancestry protection. That's what my ancestors do." I said, "You have that, but the thing is, you're not believing in it. So therefore you believe it that you're cursed or you've been affected or whatever." And I said, "Just because you believe in it, that's what you got. Because you're allowing it. You have to be able to manifest," as everybody likes to say now, the cool thing, right? Manifest. So make it happen. If you're just going to sit there and think about it, it's not going to manifest. You cause what you get to your body, your effects, your life. That's what happens.
So you have your show Behind the Mystical Door. Are you a writer? Are you published anywheres? Do you have a book out? Do you plan on writing a book? What other kind of activities do you do within your community?
Yeah, I actually, Bruce, can you a little bit lower, please. I actually had somebody that actually wanted to talk to me about writing a book, because of some of the stuff that I've been through and seen and stuff like that. But I don't know. I guess sometimes maybe. Am I on with anybody? No, this is me. I'm solo. I mean, I'm not part of anybody. Behind the Mystical Door is mine, and that's. If anybody wanted me or anything, I guess I would help them or you do it. But it's not something that I'm gonna just jump on, because I'm gonna research them. I'm gonna find out everything about them, because I'm a Gemini, and that's what I do. That's what happened to Syrian. I researched the heck out of him. He just disappeared. Find out the weaknesses and take them down by their knees. That's how you get rid of toxic. But I mean, will more come out of it? It's like witchcraft TV, man. You want to make it happen, right? Don't we all? Right? That's what I'm talking about.
Passion.
This is I do what I do for fun. This is my hobby. This is my joy. This is my life. I have to. So if I'm not going to do it, then who's going to do it? Who's gonna go and demolish another house in Gary, Indiana, so the whole town gets sick and gets cursed? Not me. No, I'm just kidding. It'll be somebody else, and then I got to go clean up their crap act, and that's okay, as long as I don't know. It's just as long as it's getting done, because I don't want anybody else have to. To me, I feel like a lot of people I can't count on. I can't count on people because I see how people have done other people in a lot of ways bad. And you wonder if you can count on people. And me, if I see something being done and it's not done properly or half-assed or whatever you want to call it, I kind of have to throw something out there and say, hey, why don't you just let me do it and I'll get it done and get it done right, or help me get it done, or whatever we got to do, So I wouldn't want to see a building like get built with plastic base while the rest is all concrete. You know what I mean? You got to have a foundation. And I'd like to see the foundation of what we are grow and be right and all prosper from what we do. Not just a couple of people that say, I'm going to charge you $8,000 and I just got rid of your love life, or I got your lover back, or whatever. It's getting pathetic. It really is. I've heard 13,000. I had a woman come to me and she said that she paid $33,000 to have her ex-boyfriend come back. And I said, how'd that work out for you? She came to me. Wow. I was like, really? I didn't know what to say to her. I said, I'll help you, but I'm not going to charge you that much because I do everything by donation. I don't do this. I want $7,000 for this breakup spell and all that. Get the hell out of here, man. Are you buying somebody's house? Or buying a car? People are bad. They're bad. The ones that when they message you, I don't know if you ever seen there. When they message you and they have this long list of spells that they can do. You like that? I love that one. I eat them up. I eat them up for breakfast. So I'll be like, really? Where'd you learn that? How did you do that? Really? You do this to do that? I fuck with them so much, and I apologize for that, but I'm like this. I mess with them so much, I get under the skin to where they block me. I'd be like, did you really know how to do it? Wait, maybe you did it wrong. Did you really do it wrong or right? Because it sounded like you did it wrong. And I just pick it. Because I'll be irritating to them until they basically forget and forgive, and they just don't want to do it anymore. Because I'll hound them. I'll be up their ass all the time. Testing them, But I think you're doing a good thing. Proud of you.
Appreciate that.
I wish I would have went into that same format, and I was going to do it at one point, but honestly, I'm kind of shy. I am. I'm shy when it comes down to meeting people at first. I won't talk. I just feel your energies and watch and listen. I'm that guy that sits in a party. He just watches and goes, that one's going to be drunk at about 3:00 and falling off the table and all that, or that one's going to be running into the walls. I pick it out. I just watch it happen. So, but I think the community can be we're going to need to be a lot stronger very soon. Count on that. So I'm hoping we don't, but I hope we all stick together for one.
So I have another question for you that I've been wanting to ask during the interview. Say a younger fella, younger than us, maybe 19, 20, 21, and they come to you and they come to you for advice, and you can tell that they're definitely interested in our lifestyle. Right. What would be the advice you would give them if you spent a day with them?
Okay. Oh boy. Let's say they're 19, right? Something like that. 21, 19, 21, we'll say. First thing is run. Don't don't think that you're going to get into a bunch of relationships with a lot of witches and they're going to just be all lovey-dovey over you. They're going to sacrifice you. No, I'm just kidding. No. Well, some will. Won't mention any names. Starts with a K. Anyways, on that, I would be like, go slow and easy. Act like it's your first time in school. Keep it that way for a long time. Don't be the bully. Don't be the bully. And because the bullies, they're going to get, there's always a bigger, badder bully and a bigger, badder wolf or a dragon around. And the dragons just come around and they just eat you up and chomp you up and spit you out and make you look silly online, etc., etc. I don't know who that is, but learn. Either be a female or a male. Learn. There's a lot of books, a lot of reading, a lot of studying, and have a shadow book, a book of shadows to write down your past. Get over your past, and you'll get over a lot of things when you walk down your path. You'll open up your mind. Study, listen, and ask questions. Always. Just like in school. I mean, you didn't see Harry Potter not ever ask questions, did you? Even though he had it all, I guess, or whatever. But just take notes. Get notebooks. That's right. I had 6-inch binders. Okay, Harold. I lost them in a house fire, but I had 32 6-inch binders full of my shadow work and spells. They were that thick, and lost them all. But remember, those are your personal notes. You don't have to explain to anybody. You don't have to explain to anything about what you do and how you do it. Okay? If it works for you, let it be. Right? So mote it be. If it doesn't work for you, well, then maybe you're just trying too much. Or maybe you're just trying to figure, I got to have the most expensive flower that's got to be on my altar because it's got to be $900 because so-and-so said a luck spell. Look, don't be believing everybody else's BS. That's the biggest thing. Because, man, when people are selling spells for $3,000 and $2,000, look, they're scamming you. Period. Write your own spells. They will be priceless as long as you keep them in your book.
Well, hey, man, I appreciate you coming on the Lone Wolf Show, and I hope to have you back soon again. And don't go nowhere because I want to talk to you backstage. But
Okay.
thank you to our viewers, and make sure you keep it right here on www.witchcrafttv.online.
Tune in to the Lone Wolf Show. Join us as we embark an enchanting journey with the most renowned pagans of our time. From visionary authors who weave magic with words to musicians whose melodies echo the ancient rhythms of the earth, and witchcraft teachers who unlock the mysteries of the old way. With contemporary and historical witchcraft, man. Meet the authors who pen the spells and captivate our souls, man. Listen to the musicians who strum the strings of Gaia herself, the straight spirit and raw. Learn from the teachers who illuminate the path of hidden knowledge. Don't miss the exclusive series and interviews where mysticism meets the microphone, only on the Lone Wolf Show, man, where magic happens, man, and Witchcraft TV comes every weekday, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Witchcraft TV.